to deal with the passports. Now, when I made my statement in the House of Assembly about the fact that that even though the e-passport was being produced and the courtesies extended to members of Parliament was fine, there was a concern by the public about how long it's taking to get these e-passports. I wasn't fully aware at the time that I spoke in the House of the degree of the complaints by the public about their inability to get these new passports. People have since complained to me about having to wait on long lines to get access to the passport office. One person reported that she waited in the exposed heat for so long that she actually fainted. The report is that the office can only hold 80 people at a time. So I think they can only process 80 people per day. And there are only seats for so many at a time. So the issue, as you know, has become more complicated because before, you didn't have to actually put in a personal appearance at the passport office. But because biometrics are now in the passport, everybody has to appear at the passport office. So there is overcrowding. The building obviously cannot hold the numbers that is required. There is no word when the e-passports will actually be issued out of Freeport. And so what I'm told happens is that you get, in the morning, you get 40 entrance tickets issued for Bahamian passport holders and 40 entrance tickets issued for those who are trying to get certificates of identity. And then you wait on a line and you're called in depending on your number. The processing takes so long because some of the machines have broken down, and in one case they had to order a new printer to be brought in. The waiting time is now about 4 weeks from the time of application to the receipt of the passport. It used to be 2 weeks. Now people are now being told that they have to wait 4 weeks. And again, measures are being taken to try and address this because it's not unusual for there to be a rush for new passports. You know, everybody's going to want to have a new passport. This is also the summertime. So even though the new passport is not absolutely necessary because unless your passport expires, your passport's really good. The old passports are good until May 2010. And in any event, if they've been issued before 2010, the old passports will be good until they actually expire. But still, there's this rush on. The important point I was trying to make is not criticizing the fact that there's a problem with the dispensing of the passports. The problem is, again, information. Is the ministry telling the public what problems they have and trying to explain procedures as to what you ought to do and what you ought to expect? For example, I think everybody probably knows that passports are, in the United States, takes 6 weeks now to get the passports because of the rush on passports. So what is wrong with a simple announcement telling people, look, there's an issue with the issuance of the passports. Here's what you can expect. Try to do this, try to do that. So that's all. That's the only point I was making. And also to comment on the physical conditions outside the office where I'm told people start to queue sometimes at 5 o'clock in the morning in order to get a low number for entry into the building. Again, the question is about the ministry's public information systems, that they're not, in my view, what they should be, and this includes the website, because if the website were updated, the website could tell you what to expect. So that is a point I wish to make. And finally, the final 2 points. I think the minister did not address whether the visa abolition agreement between South Africa and ourselves has been concluded. All the major CARICOM countries have such agreements. When I left office, there was a draft agreement presented to the South African government. No report has been given, even though I asked in the House what is the situation on that. And finally, the escape of the Cuban nationals. It seems to me that this is an issue which needs to be addressed fully, and in particular from the foreign affairs perspective. We ran into issues relating to how long it took us to process Cuban nationals who came here unlawfully, and they were staying in the detention center too long. And the question is whether this still obtains and whether the Ministry of Foreign Affairs has in fact worked these issues out with the Cuban government to the point where this is not an issue and not the reason why you've had people now escaping from the detention center. So those are my comments on the issues which I raised. I'd be happy to raise any other point. Thanks.